So we'll be discussing DNA sequencing. And for DNA sequencing, we'll be discussing it under the headings of what is DNA sequencing. We'll be explaining the principle of the Sanger method in DNA sequencing. We'll also talk about the requirements for the Sanger method. So these are possible questions that can be asked. Now, what is DNA sequencing? DNA sequencing happens to be the method where we use to determine the precise order, the method used to determine the precise order of nucleotide in a DNA strand, Such is what we call DNA sequencing. That method that we use to determine the precise order of nucleotide. What do we mean by nucleotide? ATGC. How do ATGC arrange themselves in a DNA strand? That is what we call DNA sequencing. Now, coming back here, you may be able to say that two methods have been outlined. The earliest was the Sanger method, and then one of the most recent ones is the high throughput method. All right. So this is a very important way to define or to explain what is DNA sequencing. The precise order of nucleotide in a DNA strand, and by nucleotide I mean ATGC, and we said there are two of them. The Sanger method, which was the earliest, and then the high throughput method, which is nowadays being commonly used. Now, for the requirements of the Sanger method, we are going to need things like the dNTPs. Okay, we'll need a primer. We'll need a DNA strand itself. We'll need the enzyme called Taq polymerase. So please remember this in case you are asked. Again, dNTPs, primers, DNA strand, and Taq. Taq here stands for Thermus aquaticus. Alright? Now, coming back again, what are examples of dNTPs for MCQs? We have DATP, DTTP, DGTP, and DCTP. Okay? These are different examples of them. So now let's explain the principle behind the Sanger method in DNA sequencing. Now, for the Sanger method in DNA sequencing, if you are asked in your exam, how do you present it, or what did happen, or what did he do in that particular experiment? Now, for Sanger method number one, what happened was that I'll be illustrating and then I'll be explaining. What happened was, this is how the DNA strand looks like. Remember, we said DNA sequencing is that method that we use to determine the precise order of nucleotides ATGC in any DNA strand. So we said we have a DNA strand like this. The first thing we do is that we are going to denature. Once we denature, we are going to have something that looks like this. Now, once denatured, we have a denature like this. We bring in a primer on one end, and we bring in a primer on another end. So using the denatured DNAs as template, we are going to now start building. We'll start building, elongating a new one. So what have I said? Point number one was that denatured DNA, this is denatured DNA, will produce a new strand, produces two strands, such that we are going to use, such that the parent strand is used as the template, and a primer using the enzyme called Taq polymerase synthesizes a new one. So it's just English. This is just English. Similarly, what I've said indirectly is that once the nature, use a primer. Take that primer and then using the enzyme called Taq polymerase. Taq polymerase is Thermus aquaticus polymerase. It can withstand changes in temperature. So once the nature, using a primer, we start elongating. And in the elongation, we are going to be using the parent strand as the template. Now what happens as the second step is that if you explain what happens in this elongation, now you can tell that it was between the 3' side and the 5' side. How was that possible? Let me show you how a nucleotide looks like. A nucleotide is a structure that has a ribose sugar like this. In this ribose sugar, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, and then there is a 5 carbon here. This is a ribose sugar. Now, the ribose sugar on position 5, we have attached to it a phosphate, and then on position 1, we have attached to it either a purine or a pyrimidine ring. So when it is 1 ring, it's pyrimidine. If it is 2 ring, a purine ring. All right. So anytime you hear of nucleotide, you remember these 3 structures. A structure that has a ribose sugar, that has a phosphate, and that has a nitrogenous base. Now, if we want to bring in another new one here, we bring in a new structure also. This structure is like this. Okay, and then here, carbon 5. This is carbon 5, and then carbon 5 makes a bond here. If carbon 3 here of 1 makes a bond with carbon 5 of the adjacent one, it simply means we are building in the 3 to 5 direction. So the second point should be that in this elongation, covalent bonds are formed. Between the 3' and the 5' ends of adjacent nucleotides. Now, what becomes of the third point in this particular procedure? Now, at the end of the day, we are going to have something like this: 2 new strands. These were the originals. This is AA here, AA after here, AA. So this is a new strand that has been formed. So these are the original strands, and then the newer strands that have been formed. Now, having this in mind, what we do, the third step should be that take all the newer strands and amplify them. Amplify simply means do what we call polymerase chain reaction. The video has been dedicated for it. Then you can check it out in the playlist. So we are going to amplify these DNA segments. We make many copies of them. Amplify DNA and we separate them into 4 test tubes. Okay, now what becomes of that? So after amplifying DNA and separating them into 4 test tubes, the fourth point should be that in each of those test tubes, add a DDNTP and a DNTPs. Now, what do DNTPs do? What their function? Their function which will cause chain termination. This will cause chain termination. Now, the last thing should be that take each of them, pass through electrophoresis, the acrylamide gel electrophoresis, and that will separate them based on their length, and studies can be easily made. So using the gel electrophoresis, separation will be done based on their length. Separation is done based on their length, and this will help for studies of this nucleotide in the DNA strand. So that's it there for you. So we have been able to appreciate all the steps there for DNA sequencing. You can go through them over and over again, make the most sense with them, and then apply them for your next exam. Until then, see you next time. Bye.